Okie dokie, there it is. 9 Settler, the Ogre Delver with 416 HP in statue form. Look at those beautiful defenses, 37, 26, 25, 26 evasion as an Ogre with that amount of armor class is quite significant, let me tell you. So let's switch to tiles because I know no one understands or likes console on Twitch. Sometimes it doesn't work, that's standard. So we just save and reload, and now it's working. Okay. We can also replace the fish with like um, the parrot. Yeah, the parrot is pretty cool. So we're gonna have the parrot today. Um, so yeah, let's continue. Let's continue with the gameplay. Um, so eventually I will have to explore a full level of Pandemonium. I think what I'm going to do is just not explore anything until I oh wait, that's an evening star. I'm gonna pick that up. Um, I'm not gonna explore the levels, like the complete levels, until I get all the 4 runes and I'm just actually looking for the exit. Okay, that would be Hellion Island. That bolt is guaranteed to have a rune. Hello, Rigosha. Good to see you around. Thank you for stopping by and thank you for the continued support. Um, so yeah, this bolt is Hellion Island. Hellion Island is very dangerous. It's guaranteed to have the rune, but it also has a million Hellions, which makes it really hard to deal with for most characters, especially characters that don't have like projectiles or anything. But fortunately for me, I do have very high quality projectiles in the form of these boomerangs. Oh, there's also a Pandemonium Lord. Okay, let's take a look at him. Okay, he doesn't have spells. He doesn't fly. So it's kind of trivial. It's kind of funny. He is mostly harmless. Um, so I can just stand here and throw boomerangs at him until he dies. So yeah, not really a concern. Okay, I'm dealing a lot of damage with these boomerangs. So yeah, what I'm gonna do here is just stand here and throw boomerangs until everything dies, and then once everything is dead, I'm just gonna very carefully float my way over there and grab the rune. And it's kind of a good thing that I got this bolt as a rune bolt because sometimes there's like harder rune bolts in Pandemonium, and this one, for this character at least, would be one of the easy ones. As long as I play it carefully, of course. The generation also favors me heavily because I only have one Helion within line of sight, so I will not get damnated for like 100 damage in any single turn. It's just a thing that cannot happen, which is pretty good indeed. Yeah, there we go. You kill the Hellion, you kill the Hellion, you kill the Hellion, you kill the Pandemonium Lord. Oh, there we go. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's not what we want. That's not what we want at all. So yeah, as long as it's only one of them, we are cool. But more than one, it can get pretty tricky. And I killed a ton of Hellions, so that should be evidence of how dangerous this vault can be. And there it is, the demonic rune of Sot. As I mentioned, always generates in here. I would like to be able to go there without having to use a potion of light because I don't have a lot of them. Yeah, this game has been quite stingy on the potions of light. I wonder if they like don't generate that much anymore. Um, I don't know. I feel like Flight could use a rework because it's kind of that very um, irrelevant thing to have until you actually need it, and then you really need it. It's like remove curse in a sense. That ring doesn't seem bad. Let me see what I'm using currently. Well, I guess it's on par with the other ring of cold resistance that I have. This one gives me 6 intelligence, and the other one actually subtracts a bit of intelligence, but also gives me 4 armor class. So yeah, I guess they're all okay. Like all of the rings that I have right now are pretty nice. I would like to get the amulet of my cover finger, so I can actually use more than 2 rings. This is a rare character where I would like to use a third ring. Okay, I'm gonna enchant that because I mean there's no need for me to enchant anything else, and it's an evening star. An evening star is a pretty cool weapon, so why not? I can also brand it, and who knows? Eventually, maybe I get something that is better than the Trishula. If I get lucky with the brand weapon and I get Holy Wrath. In fact, I don't know for sure if that can happen anymore. Um, yeah, I don't know for sure. Okay, so since I already have the Monic, there's no point in exploring the rest of the Pandemonium. So it's gonna be just jumping into portals until I find one of the fixed Pandemonium Lords. Okay, so you and Snare in melee, you don't have spells, you fly and you're fast. Kind of annoying. But yet again, I'm an ogre of the Shining One. I have like 400 HP in statue form. Nothing really scares me. Especially because even if things hit me really hard, I still have 400 HP. And really hard in this game, like you can see there, I got tormented and I took 72 damage. Big deal. Especially because the Shining One is just gonna heal me a lot. This is the point in the game where the Shining One actually gets really strong. Um, he's just gonna allow me to fight ad nauseam against a lot of things in here. Um, and Cleansing Flame also deals extra damage and stuff. I just got a manual of invocations. I could theoretically just turn on invocations. Like, in fact, that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn on invocations and I'm just going to leave it on for a while until the manual runs out. And then we're going to go back to spellcasting so I can get my 27 spellcasting title. I really like the Ogre Mage title. It's a title that you can only get as an Ogre. Um, Okay. The game has not given me a lot of. Well, it hasn't given me a single fixed Pandemonium Lord floor. I'm hoping that the first one I get is Glork's Block because for this particular character, and for pretty much any character that has a statue form, Glork's Block would be probably the easiest one to deal with. Um, Oh, we got Serabov as a first one. Not a big deal. I can deal with Serabov. Let's see, do I have a Ring of Fire Resistance? Yeah, I do. Okay, so goodbye Robustness. Hello, Ring of Fire Resistance. I really want those 3 pips of Fire Resistance so I can reduce the damage that I take from Firestorm as much as possible. I feel like that is going to be a bit important. Um, Luckily, my defenses are kind of reasonable enough even without the Ring of Robustness. So yeah, it doesn't really matter that I take it off right now. But I would like to use it nonetheless. So I don't know exactly where he is. I don't think he's in here. Okay, yeah, he's probably not in there. I'm actually pretty sure that he's not in there. So yeah, I deal a lot of damage. I deal an absolute metric ton of damage. So, oh, nice. We get a bunch of very interesting items here. I kind of wanna drop that because you cannot use it with a shield. It's kind of a lame thing to see. It pretty much means that I will never be able to use it because I don't want to drop the shield. Even though it is extended and most of the things are going to be attacking me with attacks that cannot really be blocked, it still does wonders against melee. So yeah, it has a bit of utility. Also, training for a giant spike club is quite an endeavor. I guess I should identify it. Maybe it's a giant spike club of Holy Rat, and then that would be a lot of damage. Oh, I guess it's only a +3 giant spike club. In the same vein, I bet the Evening Star is also like a +3 Evening Star. Let's wield it. Okay, it's an Evening Star of draining. So let's just drop it. Okay, he has an amulet that's pretty much an upgrade over the amulet that I'm currently using. So I'm excited for that. We can drop the amulet of the acrobat that I'm currently using. Goodbye. We can close the door. We can put on the amulet of Calf. Calf. So yeah, it's an amulet of the acrobat with resistance to electricity, 2 pips of resistance to negative energy, and 5 strength. So for practical purposes, it's just an amulet of the acrobat with 5 strength because I already have the other things, either from the Shining One or from the Hat of the Alchemist. Um, okay, Cerebov's floor is pretty much the only one that has really good loot. As you can see, a bunch of artifacts, enchanted giant spike clubs, which are not precisely the most common thing. I would assume those were generated by the game because the game realized that I'm an ogre and I could use one of those. And we also got like um, manuals and more randards. Very very good loot in Cerebov's vault. Okay, that's an issue. I typoed and went forward instead of going backwards. So yeah, that's the big guy. Cerebov has a bunch of HP, like the second highest HP in the game. Only bested by Antaeus at 750 or something like that. Hits very hard and has very dangerous spells like Summon Greater Demon, Firestorm, and of course Haste. Pretty dangerous, unique, and a pretty hard fight to take. So since he is hasted, perhaps the best thing that I can do right now would be to haste myself. However, I think that I could maybe blink away into the clouds because there's a cloud generator here that will block line of sight. Let's see. I have 9 blinking and I only have 5 haste, so I think blinking is the correct choice here. Um, Okay, as you can see, it breaks line of sight. It would have broken line of sight even without the clouds because I just jumped so far away. So we're gonna do a little bit of, first of all, statue form, very important, so I don't get tormented and I have a bunch of extra HP to play around with. I'm gonna ask the Shining One for 2 angels. Okay. And after that, I think I could use a potion of might as well. I'm thinking that maybe I should also haste, but who knows? Okay, one of my angels dies almost immediately, which could be an issue. Okay, I deal a lot of damage to Cerebov. That was easily over 100 damage in a single attack, and Cerebov is lightly wounded. So yeah, that just goes to show how dangerous he can be. There is a Blizzard Demon next to Cerebov, so I'm thinking that he will not Firestorm because a Blizzard Demon is weak to fire. So yeah, that's good, I guess. Because Firestorm kinda really does hurt a lot. So what else can we do against Cerebov? Um, let's see. I guess it's too late to try using Experience Evocables because he's already next to me, and my turns would be best used by attacking him in one way or another. I'm thinking Cleansing Flame could be a good thing, but I think that 650 HP worth of Cleansing Flame would be a lot of piety. Maybe I just attack him in melee. Okay, I still deal a lot of damage, and I do not take a lot of damage in return. That's pretty nice. Okay, I'm destroying Cerebov. Like, that's 3 attacks in a row that I deal like 3 exclamation points of damage to Cerebov with my melee attack. That is, well, without taking into consideration the brand. The brand comes after the base damage from my melee weapon, which is looking pretty good because Cerebov does have a lot of armor class. So yeah, we're dealing a lot of damage to Serabov, like he doesn't have 650 HP. That looks pretty good. Let's see, has my Deva been hitting Serabov or something, or am I just dealing that much damage? Well, apart from that smite, I don't think my Deva has dealt a lot of damage to Serabov. So yeah, this is looking pretty good to me. You completely miss. Wow, completely miss with 10 evasion, 8% chance to miss, and I completely missed. That was a very bad roll. Let's try again. Serabov is heavily wounded. So that was not a very good damage roll right there, but it's not a big deal. Um, okay, heavily wounded, severely wounded. We take 51 damage in a single turn. Serabov hit me very hard there. And that damage came only from Serabov. So Serabov was able to hit me for 51. And that could be kind of worrisome, but he is severely wounded. I think we can just kill him. Um, okay, we hit him very hard and he's still severely wounded. One or two more melee attacks of that quality should kill him. But I'm not sure we're gonna keep getting attacks of that quality. Oh, okay. Okay, well, I guess we just get a better attack and he dies. We dropped Servov from severely wounded to just death in a melee attack. That was pretty nice. We get the trophy that is the Sword of Serabov, or I guess not because I ran out of inventory slots. I would like to be able to drop some of these things, but the thing about Pandemonium is that if you drop things, they just go away forever. I'm gonna drop the Manual of Crossbows. That's the second one that has generated this game. And the game also generated the Damnation crossbow, which is widely considered to be the best weapon in the game. But as the Shining One worshipper, I cannot use it. So yeah, it's kind of a shame. Not much to do about that. The Fiend doesn't really scare me. Those Fiends are normally kind of scary for most characters, but not for an Ogre that has 320 maximum HP. Like, even outside of statue form, I'm still incredibly resilient. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that guy. Okay, so having killed Cerebov, I can just take off my Ring of Fire Resistance and go back into the Ring of Robustness. Um, and yeah, I think we're done here. That was super easy. That was super easy. Like, I didn't really come close to dying. In fact, I didn't drop below 50% HP. It was very helpful that when he used Summon Greater Demon, he didn't summon like something stupid like a Brimstone Fiend. A Brimstone Fiend would have been quite bad because he would have Firestormed the Brimstone Fiend. Um, but it was not the case, so yeah, that was an easy fight for us. We got frailed, which means that I lost like 40 HP, 40 maximum HP. I kind of want to remove it, um, but then again, the good mutations that I have are really good, so I don't know for sure. Okay, that's 3 ISO statues. I'm pretty sure that is not. Well, this level is not like fixed Pandemonium Lord level. I know that for sure because the game tells you when you go into a level like that. So yeah, I just want to get out of here. Okay, a bunch of tormentors and damnators and stuff like that. Very annoying. But the Shining One healed me for a lot during that fight. I'm pretty sure that I'm just gonna drink some of my potions of mutation, but I'd rather wait because Menoleg's floor also has a bunch of monsters that have malmutate. So I'd rather just get rid of all the bad mutations right after I'm done with Menoleg's floor, which is the floor that I just entered. Very convenient, very convenient. So let's see, what did I get? I didn't get anything. Lucky me, I have the Hat of the Alchemist, so I don't take a lot. Well, I don't get malmutated like very consistently. It's kind of a rare thing for me to get malmutated. Okay. So I'm just gonna auto explore here until I find the bolt. Normally Menolek's bolt is like really big, and it's like hard to miss. So yeah, we should stumble into it any second now. It's kind of fun that Cerebob's bolt is really small. Glorxblock's bolt usually takes up like half the level. Menolek's bolt is also really big, and Lomlobon's bolt is also really big. So the only one that has a small bolt would be the one that has the most HP. I wonder why that is. Many people would consider to be Serevov one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous Pandemonium Lord, because he has so much HP and he's so hard to kill. Okay, when I'm surrounded by enemies, I just Cleansing Flame. It's like the most efficient way to spend the turn, I feel. Okay, I'm getting destroyed by malmutation here, by malmutations here. I don't really mind because at the end of the day, I'm gonna just remove them all. It's kind of a shame that I'm gonna lose all those good mutations, but it's not really that big of a deal. I don't think I care about losing the good mutations. Because like you can win a game without good mutations, but bad mutations can end your game for sure. So yeah, there's that. Okay, there's Menolech. I'm just gonna walk away from him, lure him into this corridor, um, lure him away from the portal to somewhere so that I don't get attacked by the Eldritch Tentacle. And I'm just gonna throw some boomerangs at him. He is affected by silver, so that should deal a lot of damage to him. Okay, so he summoned horrible things, so I'm gonna start using javelins, since javelins just ignore the summons and they're just gonna pierce through. Um, and then we don't really care about the summons. They deal damage, but they are not like actually pretty dangerous. They're just like there. Menoleg is within melee range, could be an issue. Kind of funny. I thought he had um, reaching, but I guess he doesn't. Yeah, take a look at that melee that he has. He can claw for 40, kick for 23, tentacle slap for 35, and gore for 30. That's a lot of attacks in a single turn, and a lot of kind of damaging attacks in a single turn. I guess I don't have Blink the spell. Right now it would be a really good spell, so I can not be within melee range of Menoleg so that he doesn't absolutely destroy me with his melee attacks. I think I'm gonna try to melee him. You barely miss. How much evasion do you have? Okay, you have a lot. Um, you also have 348 HP. Not that is not that big of a deal. Okay, he summoned Golden Eyes. Golden Eyes don't really scare me. Eyes of Draining also don't really scare me that much. The eyes that are really scary would be the floating eyeballs. Floating eyeballs are pretty deadly. Okay, we use Cleansing Flame just to guarantee a kill on Serevov, or rather not Serevov, but on Menoleg to prevent him from like dodging stuff, because that's pretty annoying. And we just get the kill very easily. So now we just have to pick up the rune and get out of here before we get more malmutations. And as soon as I stand in like the next floor, I'm just gonna drink potions of mutation until I lose the really bad mutations that I have, like frail, the reduced potion healing, and the scrolls taking a bit longer to read. That's also pretty bad. So those would be the three that I want to get rid of the most. And let's see, did I get something else? No, I didn't. So yeah, finding Sigatubi's Fleshworks as my Wizlaff was pretty good. I got some good loot out of Sigatubi's Fleshworks, other than the potions of mutation, and then I also got the potions of mutations. Those are really good. You pretty much always want potions of mutation in this game. They're always very good items to have. So now Menolek had a rather small vault. Normally he has a larger one. So let's auto travel in here. Let me kill this large abomination real quick. Let's take off the hat of the alchemist so I can actually drink some potions of mutation. Let's see. I still have 2 out of the 3 bad mutations that I want to remove. So we're gonna drink potions again. I lost everything that, well, I have lost all the bad mutations that I wanted to lose, on except for frail. I still have frail. However, I have like fire resistance, and I don't know about it. I don't know about it. Maybe I should just call it quits here and just deal with the reduced HP. But then an ogre's biggest perk would be the fact that they have a lot of HP. So maybe I just keep drinking um, until I lose the frail. Oh, I got teleportitis. That's really bad. We're gonna have to keep drinking. I got berserkitis. Let's keep drinking. I still got berserkitis. Let's drink one more. Oh man, I still have teleportitis. I got 2 pips of cold resistance, which is really good. Um, I got frail. I think I just gotta leave it like that. To be completely honest, I think I just gotta leave it like that now. Um, I could keep drinking. I'm gonna keep drinking until I don't have frail, because I really don't like frail, and I have a ton of potions of resistance, or a ton of potions of mutation. I can give myself that luxury. So that looks pretty good. We got 1 bad mutations, but it doesn't really matter. Like I don't really care about having -2 dexterity. I still dodge pretty well. Um, Okay, so I got out of that and I needed Blink during that fight, so I'm just gonna learn it right now. Okay, let's see. We have an Asleep Pandemonium Lord. Um, it has Quicksilver Bolt and Freezing Cloud, and it also has a lot of dodging. Can hit for 52. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. I'm just gonna poke it. Okay. Um, I got frailed immediately after that. That is pretty annoying. It's not really dangerous, it's just annoying. Um, so being slow next to such a large amount of enemies, it's a pretty annoying thing. Okay, there's a gate leading to another region of Pandemonium. Not even an exit. I could use an exit right now. Let's do the thing again. Let's take off the hat of the alchemist and let's drink potion of mutation. Okay, that looks pretty good. Um, yeah, I don't mind those mutations. Those are pretty low impact mutations. Like that just goes to show how death good mutations can be. Like those mutations that I have right now, they don't really do anything. But bad mutations can go from reducing your maximum HP by percentage, as I saw, as you guys have already seen. Like I got frail, then berserkitis, being unable to heal properly with potions. Like it's just really bad effects that are not worth risk. That is not worth the risk to get just to try to get one of the really good mutations. That's pretty much what I mean. I pretty much never try to go for the mutation roulette. Even when I have a bunch of potions of mutation, I'm just not gonna use them to try to get a good mutation set, because I know the bad mutations are really bad. So potions of mutation, in my opinion, are best used to get rid of bad mutations instead of actually trying to get good mutations. Okay, so Lomlobon is there. I don't really have a lot of cold resistance. Let me take off one of my rings. I'm probably gonna take off the ring of robustness, so I can put on, or I could take off both the rings, which is probably a good idea actually. I'm gonna take off both the rings so I can give myself 2 pips of cold resistance to mitigate Lomlobon's glaciate. Glaciate is a really painful effect. He also has Tornado that can phase you through walls and make you float over the water. Very annoying and very dangerous effect. Yeah, as you can see there, I just got phased through the wall by Tornado. Okay, I think. Okay, I'm not floating over water, am I? Okay, Glaciate. Uh, it deals so much damage. Even if you have the resistance, even if you have a bunch of armor class, it still really, really hurts. And this guy is only affected by anti-magic. It's not affected by silence, cannot be waterlogged, because it doesn't speak when it casts spells. You can go and see Lomlobon gestures at you, so it doesn't speak. It just does the thing. Very annoying. This guy is pretty strong. Doesn't deal a lot of damage in melee, only 40, as opposed to Menelek, who had an attack that dealt 40 and then more attacks. Um, and drains magic, not a big deal. He has blink range and major healing, which is a big issue. If the fight prolongs, Lomlobon can and will outlast you just because he can blink away and major heal and heal for a very large amount of HP. Okay, I don't mind that. As you can see, it doesn't really deal damage to me because I have a lot of armor class, and a lot of resistances, at least when it comes to that. So yeah, okay, blinked away. So now he's gonna try to major heal, and the best thing that I can do right now would be to throw a bunch of rocks at him to hopefully try to kill him before he heals. He deals 45 with Glaciate. Lomlobon is almost dead. I'm gonna try to melee him. He's still almost dead. I missed. Okay, we deal some damage to Lomlobon and finish up the job. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Dangerous fight, very dangerous fight. It can go downhill real quick, as you can see. Even with all my resistances and everything, he was still dealing a ton of damage with Glaciate. He casted Glaciate for 80 damage, and in addition to that, there was the Tornado and stuff. Lomlobon is a really hard fight. I would say that he's not as hard as Cerebov, because Cerebov can just say, haha, screw you, I'm gonna summon Hellions and Brimstone Fiends and Tormentors, and they're gonna torment you while I Firestorm you, and good luck killing me because I have 650 HP. But yeah, even with that, Lomlobon is still pretty dangerous, but not as dangerous as Cerebov. I think my ranking would be first Cerebov, just because he's so tanky and so potentially dangerous, then Lomlobon, then Menolek, and last but not least, certainly not least, would be Glorksblock. Glorksblock has a very dangerous spell set that gets kind of neutralized by Statue Form. Statue Form is I would say that it is a necessity to fight against Glorksblock. I personally haven't fought Glorksblock without Statue Form for a very long time now. Like, I don't remember when was the last time that I fought Glorksblock without Statue Form. It's just that good. Okay, so I kind of want to train more transmutations in Earth Magic, or rather only Earth Magic, because I want to eventually be able to cast Shatter. I should already have Shatter. Yeah, there we go. We're just gonna learn it now. Okay, I'm on fire. Kind of annoying. So we're gonna try to learn Shatter again. Okay. I found a gate leading to another region of Pandemonium. We're gonna go in there. As I mentioned, there's no need to actually explore the levels. I just need to get my runes and then get out of here. And this is the last rune that I need to get. I already got Cerebobs, Glorksblocks, and Lomlobons. I did get Lomlobons, right? I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, there we go. That's a magical rune of sod. In fact, the game tells you that you will leave and you will not be able to get the rune if you haven't picked up the rune. That's pretty nice because the game didn't used to do that. So yeah, I really appreciated that they added that to the game. I also really like that there's a gate leading out of the Pandemonium, just staying there, so that I don't have to spend a single minute here after killing Glorksblock. Glorksblock is a really dangerous enemy. He has Miasma, he has Torment, he has Dispel on Death. So you would think that Lich form would be able to easily deal with Glork's block, but the reality is that Dispel Undead is a pretty dangerous thing, and in fact, going into Lich form against Glork's block is actually worse than just fighting him in your regular fleshy form, because Torment cannot directly kill you if you're in like if you're in like a fleshy form, but if you go into if you go into Lich form, he can directly kill you with Dispel Undead, and Dispel Undead cannot be dodged. He will just do the thing. Um, so executioners can be pretty dangerous for characters that don't have a lot of armor class, because it's a monster that will always be faster than you pretty much. It's a base speed 20, so by default it's already faster than you while hasted, and it can haste itself. So yeah, it's almost impossible to outrun one of these guys. Not even if you're Spriggan, not even if you are a Centaur. I guess Centaurs don't really exist anymore, but you know what I mean. So there he is, Glork's block, the Demon Lord of Darkness. This one has the least HP out of all of them, pretty much, but also has the nastiest set of spells, in my opinion. I feel like the only thing that he's lacking to actually be disgusting and pretty brutal would be maybe summon Greater Demon instead of summon Executioners. Summon Executioners, like, it can destroy characters, but if a character gets to this point in the game and they struggle with Executioners, maybe they shouldn't be doing this part of the game, like, at all. At least that's my personal opinion on that. Extended is not for every character. The character needs to get kind of lucky to be able to do extended properly. So Glork's block, not really that dangerous in statue form, because in statue form he can torment and it deals like no damage. He can miasma, and in statue form we are immune to miasma, so that's okay. Cannot dispel on death, a statue form character. Poison arrow, we are immune to poison arrow, still deals some physical damage, but it's not that much, and we can dodge it, and we can reduce it with armor, and we can block it with a shield. It has abjuration, I don't really care. I'm not using spells, and some executioners, I already mentioned that it's not really a dangerous spell for this character, and for any character that is using statue form, pretty much. Okay, we lost the statue form, let's recast it. And before we lost statue form, it tormented. And as you can see there, Glork's block tormented, the executioner hit me, and we only lost 64 HP. So it just goes to show how strong statue form can be against Glork's block. It doesn't really let him do anything. Pretty much trivializes everything that he could do. I wonder if this bolt has loot. I'm pretty sure that it doesn't have any loot. As you can see, it's a huge ass bolt. So let's just get out of here. We know where the exit is, so let's just go and get the exit. There's no need to keep exploring the Pandemonium now that we have all that we wanted from there. So shattered 99%. Let's see how low it is if I take off the Pearl Dragon skills. 95. Okay, that doesn't really cut it for me. I got 12 intelligence. That could be an issue. Why do I have 12 intelligence? Something is reducing my intelligence. Okay, that ring, the ring of slaying is reducing my intelligence. I guess when the time comes that I really want to start casting Shatter, I will be able to take off the ring of 4 evasion and 4 slaying without actually feeling those effects, like actually missing those stats. So let me try something. Let me try something. We're gonna put on this. We're gonna take off the ring. That increases my intelligence quite a bit. It goes from 12 to 23. And now let's take off the Pearl Dragon scales and try again. We got 77% shatter, so we're getting there. We're getting there. So it is within reach. I feel like by the time we're done with the hells, we should be able to cast shatter properly. Um, so yeah, let's just begin our hellish endeavor. Let's see, let's see, let's see. I'm gonna do Cocytus first because I wanna just do it first because I have 3 pips of cold resistance, and after that, I think we're gonna do Tartarus. Tartarus should probably be the easiest one. So maybe we do Tartarus, then Cocytus, then this, and then last Jaina. Jaina is, in my opinion, the hardest one because there's a bunch of Hellions and a bunch of Brimstone Fiends. It's a pretty nasty place to be in. Um, So yeah, I think we can take off one of the rings of cold resistance, at least for now, and we can put on. Yeah, if we're gonna be doing Tartarus first, I think we are best off with the items that give me um, the most stats, because at least when it comes to the resistances, the most important resistance in Tartarus would be resistance to negative energy, and I have a lot of that because I am with the Shining One. Let's drop the Sword of Cerebov. Let's drop the Evening Star. Let's also drop. I picked up a couple of things that I'm probably not gonna be using, like the Scrolls of Enchant Armor, Scrolls of Amnesia. Um, Yeah, manual shields. Maybe I will eventually train it, but not right now. Like there's no real need. I would like to get Shatter castable in the very near future. By the time I do some of the Pandem or some of the Hell Lords endings, I need to have Shatter. Shatter is a very strong spell because it allows you to skip very large parts of levels that you have to clear. So, for example, there's a Jaina ending. There's a lot of Jaina endings where this applies, where it's just like Asmodeus is in a room, and the room behind him has the rune. So if you have Shatter, you can just destroy the metal walls and just get the rune without having to fight Asmodeus. And that's pretty good because Asmodeus can get pretty nasty. So yeah, anyway, let's go back to Hell. Did I clear the entirety of the vestibule? I guess I did. So Tartarus first, as I mentioned. Pretty easy Hell branch. So here's gonna be the strategy. I will never walk a single step outside of statue form in here, because you get tormented a lot in Tartarus, and statue form reduces the damage that torment deals for quite a bit. So so yeah, it's a very important thing to have for Tartarus, at least in my personal opinion. There's many people that don't really agree with that, um, but yeah, it's just what has worked for me. It's pretty much what I mean. So yeah, Doomhounds are pretty scary. They hit really well. They hit reasonably hard. I guess by this point in the game, getting hit 445 is not getting hit really hard. It's just getting hit um, reasonably hard. But the most important thing is that they have an effect that you cannot resist with magic resistance. Doesn't even check line of fire. It's just an effect that happens, and that can that will summon very high tier enemies to fight against you. So if a Doomhound howls at you and you have the howl effect, it may be a good idea to drink a potion of cancellation if you cannot deal with like a couple of Tzitzimitsu or Tormentors, or maybe if you're lucky you get Bone Dragons. Bone Dragons are actually pretty easy to deal with. So we got downstairs almost immediately, and I got Howl, so I'm just gonna wait it out before um, keep pushing forward. Before I keep pushing forward, I'm just gonna get rid of the actual dangerous enemies. As you can see, Howl summoned a Shadow Demon, another Shadow. Well, summoned a Shadow Demon that summoned a Shadow Demon. It summoned a Shadow Dragon, a Bone Dragon, and another Shadow Dragon. Nothing really dangerous other than the Shadow Demon. The Shadow Demon can be really annoying because as you can see, a Shadow Demon summoned the Shadow Demon, and that can very quickly spiral out of control if you have no way to actually kill the Shadow Demons. But since they were within melee range, I was just able to kill them very fast. Um, okay, I like how necromancers with bound souls change color. I find that really cute. That's a new thing, by the way. So yeah, from all of these things, they're not really dangerous. They were dangerous earlier in the game. Right now, they're not quite so dangerous. Um, and so hells have no loot pretty much, or if they have loot, it's generally not worth it to pick up because at this point in the game you should already have all that you need to win the game. And going out of the way to explore the entirety of a floor to try to get an upgrade, it's not the optimal thing to do. It's actually pretty dangerous. So yeah, many people will just not explore the hells, just as with slime. I do the same thing in slime. Okay, the Doomhound howled, so I'm gonna have to wait it out. Um, So luckily, the summons from Howl get paralyzed for like a couple of turns, so you have the chance to kill them before they actually get pretty nasty, which is a fair way to do that effect because it rewards you for having high damage at this point in the game, which is pretty nice. You like pretty much every character should have high damage at this point in the game. Um, so we got the final floor. I think I have a lot of magic mapping, so we're gonna read magic mapping here. I got the maze ending. I don't like the maze ending because it is very time consuming. Um, let's see. I have Shatter. I have Shatter at 78. Maybe if well, I guess in statue form, that actually improves my success rate with Shatter because I'm melding the Pearl Dragon scales. So I'm gonna put on all my intelligence rings to see if I can get a Shatter, and then we're gonna drink Brilliance as well to try to shatter. If I'm carrying Brilliance, that would be convenient. Okay, things are getting kind of nasty. As you can see, like things very closely, like almost got out of control, I guess. That would be the proper way to say it. But yeah, the wonders of the Shining One and having an area of effect attack that surrounds you with a lot of damage and hurts the enemies. Okay, that was very hostile. Let me tell you, very hostile indeed. So 54% with all my intelligence rings. Oh, I guess I can put on even more intelligence. Let's see. Yeah, it's 26 intelligence. We have 36% shatter. Um, I have 3 brilliance, so we can shatter to break the bolt and start up the fight. And I am pretty sure that's the correct thing to do. Um, instead of actually doing the labyrinth. I mean, I have the ability to cast Shatter, so might as well take advantage of it. In fact, the maze, this maze, was um, making me consider not doing Tartarus first, because I wanted to have Shatter consistently, so I could destroy the maze if required. Um, okay, I'm getting kinda destroyed here. A bunch of tormentors and things just came out of the bolts to gank me because I stepped on an alarm trap. Alarm traps can be really scary. Huh. Imagine getting tormented and taking 9 damage. That was not quite because a statue form and stuff like that. It was more because I killed some things and the shining one healed me. So yeah, those beautiful the shining one heals. Um, okay, yeah. It looks scary, but it's not quite that scary. Um, yeah, this bot has a million Tsitsimitl, or I guess Tsitsimime would be the correct way to pronounce the plural. Um, so I'm waiting out. I'm waiting out like to regen here because if I get summons, there's not gonna be a lot of summons, so I can very easily deal with them. As opposed to as if I was waiting out in the open, where the game could pummel me with summons because there's limited space in the floor I'm in right now. Okay, that's enough HP. So that got pretty scary for a moment. Not gonna lie. Um, okay, so Ereshkigal should be on the other side of that wall. Let's recast. No, let's not recast the statue form. Let's drink brilliance. Let's recast the statue form. Let's. I have 36 armor class. Let's cast Shatter. Or let's get rid of these guys before I cast Shatter. Let's cast Shatter. The dungeon rumbles. Ereshkigal should be on the other side of that wall. So I already used Shatter. I don't really need to. I may have to shatter her to death. She has a bunch of evasion, and she doesn't fly. So I could theoretically use shatter to kill Ereshkigal. Um, Tartar sauce. Okay, maybe I don't have to fight Ereshkigal at all. I can just support the rune and just get out of here. But that's kind of lame. I prefer killing my demon lords and stuff like that. Okay, cleansing flame, just doing some work here. Come on, come out to play, Ereshkigal. I wanna kill you with shatter. It's kind of interesting that Ereshkigal didn't come running this way right after I casted Shatter because Shatter makes a lot of noise. Like it's one of the noisiest effects in the game. Um, Lightly wounded does not fly. That's very important to keep in mind. She does not fly, so she will be taking a lot of damage from Shatter until she's silenced. So now that she's silenced, or now that I'm silenced, that this could get kind of nasty. I'm actually going to drink a haste. A preemptive haste, and now I have to make a decision. I can prioritize the Tsitsimime, or I can prioritize Ereshkigal. Um, And from what we have right now, like she has a 50% chance of dodging my stuff, pretty much. And the Tsitsimime don't really have that good of a chance to dodge my stuff. And I hit really hard, so I think they die in like maybe 2 or 3 actions. Um, I'm thinking that we put on the ring of evasion and slaying one more time. I feel like that could be useful because it makes me deal more damage, but I don't know about that for sure. Yeah, this is not an easy situation. The fact that I am silenced makes it a bit worse because I normally would just spam Cleansing Flame to kill these guys and deal a lot of damage to Ereshkigal in the process, but I cannot do that while silenced. Anyway, Monster Silence doesn't really last for that long, so should last for a couple of turns. So if I can survive for a couple of turns, I can just do that, and we should be okay. But the fact that I have so many Tormentors inside, like Ereshkigal torments and the Tsitsimime also torment, not to mention that Ereshkigal can summon more Tormentors, that makes me a bit nervous. Even with the damage reduction from statue form, I would still take a lot of damage just from repeated torment, and then anything can kill me. Let's say she summons a Balrog, and a Balrog could just smite me and kill me, or even worse, a Hellion. A Hellion would just destroy me because Hellion deals a lot more damage than a Balrog. Okay, we got rid of one Tsitsimime, or one Tsitsimitl, I guess. That was the correct thing to do, I think. And the other one is too far away from me, so I'm just gonna melee at Esquigal, and now I'm gonna try to kill the other Tsitsimitl. Okay, we kill it in 2 actions. There's one of them on the edge of the screen that's really bad. I'm gonna try to break line of sight. Okay, silence should be almost over. Yeah, it should be almost over in a couple of turns. Okay. Ereshkigal becomes audible again. As I mentioned, it doesn't really last for that long. Ereshkigal is almost dead. We can finish up with Cleansing Flame, or we can try to shatter her. I'm gonna try to shatter her. So yeah, that was a pretty interesting fight. It was scary for a moment, but I feel like we did pretty well. Like there was a possibility for the game to destroy me at some point, but it didn't happen. So yeah, we take those. We take those. Like there's no need to complain about that. Let's just get back to the vestibule of hell. Um, So whenever I do extended, I have this nice little challenge that I like to undergo on my own, which is whenever you enter a hell, you don't get out of it until you beat it. Of course, I wouldn't do that. Like if I absolutely had to get out, I would get out, but I don't really like to get out until I have the rune. Um, Okay, so that was Tartarus, which is in my personal opinion, the easiest one. It can still be pretty hard, but it's not as hard as the others. So after that, we're gonna do this, and then Cocytus, and then last would be Jenna, because Jenna is really scary. Let's see here. I'm gonna drop. Well, not nothing. I'm not gonna drop anything just yet. I'm gonna put on my rings of stats because I prefer to have the ability to have better stats and good melee over Shatter, at least for now. Like in a couple of experience levels, like I think this would be good at 25. When I have 25 Earth, I'm just gonna go back to training more spellcasting to 27, and by that time, Shatter should be reliably castable once I take off my rings that subtract intelligence. So yeah. Okay, we're gonna do this. The Iron City of this. Kind of a dangerous area. In fact, it's pretty nasty because there's a lot of Hellions and a bunch of Fiends and Tormentors in here. It's not a happy place, not a happy place by any means. So the way Hells work is that if you try to go upstairs, you will never be able to go upstairs. You will go back to the vestibule, and you have to make the dive all over again. Like you start from zero. which is part of the reason why I don't like getting out whenever I go into a hell. Um, but on occasion I will get out if I feel that I'm not prepared enough. Like for example, if I go into Cocytus without having 3 pips of cold resistance, I just like to get out and go get them. So my mutation of mapping was very convenient, and it let me see that there is a downstairs there. So I can put on my rings of intelligence. Um, yeah, let's put on both of them, and let's cast Shatter with 19%. So I can just go that way. And let's put on the ring of robustness again. Um, let's also put on the other ring that's abstracted intelligence. There we go. And we attracted a bunch of monsters, but not really a big deal. Like my melee is really good, especially in statue form. Statue form is really nice because it makes you deal 50% more damage, which means that you get better rolls against monster armor class. So it subtracts less damage and stuff like that. It's bad against highly evasive monsters because your actions take longer. So you get less rolls against their evasion, which is not a good thing. But it doesn't really matter. We've been doing a pretty easy this. It hasn't been like me having to explore half of the level to find the stairs, which is ideal. The least time we spend here, the better. Pretty much, that's how it is. Um, so yeah, doing pretty well this game. I'm pretty tired from going outside, and the worst part about that is that I went outside and I wasn't able to fix anything. So I went through all the effort of going outside for nothing. I went to the bank and they were like, "You want to speak with like a representative? You need to make a queue outside of the bank." And that's kind of like I was like, "Are you serious?" Well, I didn't tell them, but I was like, I absolutely thought that it was moronic to make people wait outside of the bank because of the coronavirus stuff. When more people go and transit outside of the bank than people that are inside of the bank. So yeah, that's just really stupid in my opinion. I didn't wanna stand in the queue like outside in the open in the middle of a very transited street. So yeah, I just decided to try to go to a different bank menu, um, and it was the same on the other one. And I just didn't want to wait. Just didn't want to wait in the middle of the street. So I just decided to not do anything, and I'll go do it tomorrow, or not tomorrow because they don't open on the weekends. Um, I'll go do it on Monday, but I'll do it as early as I can. I like that there's a room vault in this 7. I wonder what's gonna be in there. It's probably gonna be like only fiends and evil stuff like that. I like when I get the message found a strange structure made of doors. I'm not gonna open it because it's pretty scary and dangerous. And you should always leave it alone if you see it, unless you're incredibly confident about what you're doing and what you can do. Um, but yeah, this would not be the character for that, pretty much. Um, that was a lot of damage from an Iron Dragon and a Hell Sentinel for a character with 37 armor class. I was not expecting to receive that much damage in any single turn. At least not from these monsters. I would expect it from monsters that have Torment. Wow, this guy is so tanky. I already I already used Cleansing Flame like 4 times, and the Hell Sentinel is like, yeah, whatever. So yeah, it seems that my melee deals a lot more damage to the Hell Sentinel than anything else. So Iron Giants are pretty cool. They have a ton of HP, a ton of armor class. They hit really hard, and they can wield weapons. And they also have Iron Shot, harpoon shot and can throw allies. So yeah, they're really cool monsters. I wish they spawned in other places. I feel like they could be a good SOT monster. They're pretty dangerous, and SOT is supposed to be pretty dangerous, so I wouldn't mind seeing like Iron Giants as a very rare spawn in there. Just as rare as Orbs of Fire, I would say, or Ancient Leeches. That would be pretty cool to see, but I don't think they will do that. I feel like most of the monsters that you would see in Extended, like the actually dangerous monsters, are kind of underused. For example, Iron Dragons, I also feel that they are underused. They're pretty dangerous, but once you get to this point in the game, you already have a bunch of armor class, so it's very rare that an Iron Dragon will hit you as hard as the Iron Dragon hit me a couple of minutes ago. I deal so much damage. Statue form is pretty good because of that. Like it will pierce through monster armor class like butter, because you get extra damage on every single melee attack. You get 50% extra damage on every melee attack. Um, so yeah, and since Holy Wrath takes a look at the base damage that you deal in order to calculate the amount of damage that it will deal to a monster. You have situations such as this one, where you hit the Hell Sentinel, and the Hell Sentinel actually receives more damage from Holy Wrath than the damage that you dealt with the base weapon, even though you actually hit it really hard with the base weapon. So yeah, Holy Wrath of Statue Form of Holy Wrath, pretty good, I would say. Like, it's really one of my favorite combinations for Extended. As far as melee characters go, this would be one of the strongest, I feel. Yeah, it's just melting through monster armor class, and that's the way that it should be, pretty much always. Melting through monster armor class, like it's butter. Okay, I got tormented there twice. Um, I received 72 and 58. As you can see, like I got tormented 2 times in a row, and I still have a fair amount of HP, over 50% HP. So that's that very that is a very good way to illustrate the power of statue form and the shining one. Like without the shining one, I think I would have dropped to 50% HP, or maybe a bit higher than 50%. But the shining one gives me 3 pips of resistance to negative energy, and that further reduces the torment damage. So yeah. Okay, I saw a Tormentor. It was too far away from me, but within range of Cleansing Flame, and I decided to just use Cleansing Flame to kill it. Cleansing Flame does cost mana, or does cost piety, but at this point in the game, everything I kill will give me a ton of the Shining One piety. So the Shining One piety is kind of free at this point. So I'm gonna ask for a couple of angelic bodies. I'm pretty sure we're about to find. We're about to find this Pater. I don't know exactly where he is, but I'm pretty sure he should be somewhere in here, very close to where I am. So that you could not reach far enough thing, I kinda hate it. I wish it went lower, the least or the more skill with the melee weapon you have. Like I feel like that would be a nice buff to polearms. Like it starts really bad, but it gets better the more you train polearms. That would be also a good reason to train polearms past minimum delay. So yeah, we're kind of sweeping the floor with this Pater. I think this Pater is a pretty dangerous monster because he has a bunch of HP, a bunch of armor class, hits relatively hard, and also has very nasty spells in the form of Damnation and Summon Greater Demon. I guess I shot and Crystal Spear as well, but the dangerous ones are Damnation and Summon Greater Demon. So yeah, the fact that he's so tanky is, in addition to the fact that he has those spells, are what makes this Pater tanky, or rather dangerous, very dangerous. But as I mentioned, statue form, Holy Wrath is just melting through monster armor class, and as you can see, I hit him very hard there. Like that was easily a hit of over. I would maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but I feel like that particular attack dealt over 200 damage, like this one. You spit the Spader like a pig, the spit convulses. And now he is almost dead, so I think the best way to seal off the deal would be to use Cleansing Flame, just because it, like, um, well, it didn't kill him, but the angel kind of stole my kill. What a jerk. Well, it doesn't really matter. Like, at the end of the day, all that matters is that the Spader dies, which he did. Okay, most of these monsters are like nothing after destroying the Spader the way I did. So we're just gonna go and pick up the rune. We have 11. We are only missing four more runes. And we also get a trophy in the form of the staff of the Spader, or this pater. I don't know exactly how you're supposed to pronounce it. Legendary staff granting the power to unleash damnation, although not without draining the wielder's vitality in the process. That is a pretty good thing to have. Like, it's a pretty strong effect. Um, it is kind of dangerous. It does drain you for a lot of HP. I think it drains you for like 23 HP, and it also costs mana. Um, but the damnation effect is pretty strong. Unfortunately, by the time you get it, you're already kinda also too strong, so it's not really a necessity. Like, it's not something a character will aim for. It would be nice if you could acquire this thing a bit earlier in the game so that it's actually useful, but it's not the case, and I highly doubt that it will ever be the case. So let's do Cocytus next. So for Cocytus, you want to have 3 pips of cold resistance, which also incidentally give me um, a very strong shatter. As it is right now with the rings that I currently have, I have 19% shatter, and if I cast statue form, it goes to 10% because it melts the armor. So yeah, that's pretty good. Um, Okay, we found a very early staircase in Cocytus 1. We are going to take that. So yeah, I think that Cocytus should have more dangerous enemies. Like, I think the hells in general are not really dangerous enough. At least when it comes to the enemy drops. It's more like enemy spam over actually dangerous enemies, as it is in a 3 rune game. Like, in a 3 rune game, you're gonna see a bunch of very dangerous dudes. Um, that will make you stop and think about the situation. But in extended, it's not quite like that. Definitely not. So yeah, doing the hells without resistances can be pretty nasty. In fact, I would say that for most hells, like, you will get severely punished if you don't have the appropriate resistances. So I wouldn't even attempt if you don't have like at least 2 pips of every resistance as a switchable thing. For some resistances, like resistance to negative energy and resistance to fire, those are kind of easy to acquire, especially resistance to fire, because it's kind of a common resistance, and it's something that you still need anyway for a 3 rune game because of orbs of fire. But resistance to ice is not quite like that. Resistance to negative energy is quite abundant. It's not really necessary for a 3 rune game, but it's like not hard to acquire. Okay, so I'm pretty much one-shotting fiends left and right here. We got slowed by a hell effect. That can be very dangerous in statue form. It just means that I move really slow. Um, so yeah, this character has not been doing bad at all, let me tell you. has been doing quite well. Not really. It hasn't really been in situations where I've been like, oh, I may die here. It has been in situations where there is a lot of potential for me dying, but but the potential hasn't really happened. So yeah, we're just fine. Hello, Natrakus, and good to see you around. Thank you for stopping by in a stream that is not really a Noita stream or something. I appreciate it. If you should try to play Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup one of these days. I think you have played a bit of it, but yeah, I've never seen you like play on stream or anything. But yeah, I really recommend Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup if you're like into designing games because of the design philosophy is just so well crafted. Um, the thought or the aim of making optimal gameplay the fun option is something that I wish I saw in many more games. Like for example in Noita, like at the very start of the game, if you can get up, you can go get like two orbs for 50 more HP at the very start of the game, but it takes like 5 minutes of real time of just walking, like not actual gameplay, and that's like definitely not definitely probably optimal gameplay, but definitely not fun gameplay. And I think that's kind of a mistake. But it's not that big of a deal. Okay, we found the stairs to Koki to 7, which is pretty good. The least amount of time that I have to spend in the hells, the better, because hells can get kind of scary. Um, so I always have an issue with this vault. I never know where Antaeus is. I think he is in here. I'm pretty sure. Is he? I think. Oh man. So here's the thing. One of these vaults has Antaeus, and the other one has like all the other ones have like 10 ice fiends, which are um, very dangerous endgame monsters or extended monsters. You normally don't see them if you don't go and do a 15 rune game like this one. Um, but yeah, I actually don't know if Antaeus is guaranteed to generating one of these or if it's like a random thing. Um, so yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to have fun exploring. You do? I guess like it does make sense, but the HP increases can be good. And theoretically, like if you think about it, the sooner you get more HP, the better, because you get to play more of the game with more HP. Oh, and I just realized that this is the Serpent of Hell. As you can see, a bunch of HP, strong effects, strong spells. I mean, very good resistances, very good defenses, and summon dragon. Kind of annoying. Nothing too worrisome, I would say. Mm, so I'm in ogre form, so I would like to go into statue form. Um, this thing is demonic, so it receives more damage from holy wrath, so I should be just fine in here. This is not really that dangerous of a situation. As long as this is the only ice fiend that appears, and I don't see like 20 ice fiends in the next turn or something, we should be okay. And I prioritize the ice fiend there because ice fiends have torment and they deal a lot more damage than this thing can deal to me, even though it is indeed a dangerous monster that should be prioritized. Yeah, the snake. Okay, I think I destroyed the Serpent of Hell there. Yeah, that was some damage. Statue form increasing your melee damage by 50% is a pretty crazy effect. It really is one of my favorite spells. Like the defenses that you get from statue form and the extra damage that it deals and the fact that you get extra HP, like all of that greatly offsets the fact that you're slow while in statue form, in my opinion, at least for certain parts in the game, and especially for characters that don't have good defenses other way, which normally an ogre would be just like that. Ogres cannot really wear a lot of armor because they're bigger than other classes, so yeah, they cannot wear plate or pretty much normal armor, only rare armor like dragon scales and stuff like that. And this character does have dragon scales, but I'm still using statue form because the statue form is just so good in my personal opinion. And as we've seen, there's a lot of ice fiends in here, a lot of them. Um, so I'm not a fan of Koki 27, definitely not. This is one of many bolts, but pretty much all the bolts are as bad as this one. Um, so I'm gonna jump into teleport traps, so I can hopefully make my way into one of those islands. It seems that it has been recently changed because I used to remember that every tile was deep water and you were unable to actually walk through them. You needed flight, but now I see some tiles of shallow water that you can actually walk in, which is really good. I like that change. Okay. So there were ice fiends here, not anymore, or at least not all of them. Or at least, yeah, not all of them. Most of them left already. Torment OP, yes. Yeah, Torment can be pretty nasty. So that's why I like statue forming extended. As you can see there, I got tormented for 72 damage, and if I was in Ogre form, that would have dealt 35% of my maximum HP, and in statue form, it did what? Less than 20%? I don't know. It's something along those lines. The point is that it didn't deal nearly enough damage, or nearly as much damage as it would have dealt if I was outside of statue form. So I very much enjoy this spell. It's really one of my favorite spells in the game. Um, okay, let's see what we got there. That is a file of floods. It's not the rune. Um, see what we have. Lightning rod. Nothing that I'm really interested in. We can just leave all that loot on the floor. And it seems that I've explored half of these isles, and I still haven't found Antaeus, which might be a dangerous fight. Am I carrying Kirer? I'm not carrying Kirer. Okay, so here's the thing. Antaeus is kind of the most dangerous thing in the game that you can Kirer. And Kirering Antaeus is a very good way to kill him because it makes him slow, so you can always outrun him pretty much. Even if you're flash frozen by Antaeus magic, you can still outrun him if he is perma-slowed with Kirer. But since I'm not carrying Kira, I'm not gonna be able to do that today. But it's not that big of a deal. I don't think I will need to do that to kill Antaeus. As long as I can poke him and then blink away when he gets close, which I can perfectly do, we should be just fine. Okay. The monster spam is pretty annoying in the hells, but at least I have a very strong melee attack, so it's not that big of a deal. Let's fly over this and let's see what we got. Is that the rune? It's not the rune. Okay. So okay, I was losing the flying effect. That would have ended poorly. Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup doesn't have instant deaths anymore. What it has is very bad effects. Like instead of dying fast, you die slow in certain situations. So yeah, that's pretty bad. I got tormented 2 times in the same turn, and if I had been in regular form without resistance to negative energy, I would be at 25% of my maximum HP right now. But thanks to statue form and thanks to the shining one, I'm well above 50% HP. So this shouldn't be that big of an issue, even though I got damaged for a lot in a single turn. Um, so I'm thinking we poke the Ice Fiend. That should deal a lot of damage to it, probably even kill it in a single action. And that would heal me for quite a bit because the Shining One really likes it when I kill Ice Fiends and stuff like that. Or I guess 4. Um, so the Ice Fiends are the actually dangerous thing here. Antaeus deals a lot of damage, an absolute ton of damage with his melee attacks, and he also deals a lot of extra cold damage. But when it comes to spells, he doesn't really have anything. Like Lightning Bolt, I've killed monsters that deal more damage with lightning bolts at this point in the game, and flash freeze can be annoying. But I have 3 pips of cold resistance, so it shouldn't deal that much damage. So pretty much nothing that Antaeus does other than the melee can actually be threatening to me. The bigger threat here would be all these ice fiends because there's a lot of them, and I can only kill like at most one per action. So in the meantime, they're still tormenting me and stuff, as you can see there. And shooting bolts of cold and stuff. That's why you have to have 3 pips of cold resistance to do these things, because otherwise it can be pretty nasty. Like those bolts of cold didn't deal damage to me, but if they had dealt damage to me, I would be much lower right now. So we're just gonna spam cleansing flame. Cleansing flame deals a lot of damage to pretty much everything that I have on the screen right now. So okay, those ice fiends are a bit too far away from me. This bone dragon keeps trampling me away from them. So that's not a good combination, especially because I'm kind of dropping on HP thanks to the repeated torments. Like, so much torment. It's very little amounts of damage that I've taken from actual melee. Most of the damage that I've received during this fight has been from torment, and that is pretty much unpreventable damage. So I'm not too worried about like dying in like the next turn or something. Even though it says low HP warning, I'm still not too worried about it. Pretty much nothing on the screen can kill me from my current amount of HP, and even like I could say that I could have half my HP and I would still be fine. Because nothing can deal that much damage to me. Now that the ice fiends are dead, I should be able to kill Antaeus very quickly. Like it just goes to show how much damage I'm actually doing with my melee attacks. That Antaeus has almost 700 HP, or I think he has more than 700 HP, and I killed him so fast. Just by cleansing flame and throwing javelins and just meleeing. Like there were some serious hits against Antaeus in there. The joys of actually being able to deal melee damage. These types of characters are my favorite. The kinds of characters that can actually fight against Antaeus as a melee character and win the fight. Those are my favorite for sure. So now that we have the rune from Cocytus, I'm gonna have to do the hell that I like the least, which would be Jaina. Jaina is my least preferred hell by a long shot, because in Jaina there's a lot of Hellions and there's a lot of Brimstone Fiends, and those don't really care about your evasion, your armor class. They only care about whether or not you're above 0 HP, and if you're below 0 HP, well, it's game over. So yeah, not happy monsters to fight against. It's not really a necessity for Jaina, since so many of the monsters will hit you for with damnation and torment. But I would still like to have 3 pips of fire resistance for Jaina. But I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I only have 2, but that should be enough. Like seriously, there's not gonna be a lot of fire damage in Jaina. Let's rest to full HP and let's jump in. But let's take a second to check real quick if I'm good. And yeah, I think I'm good. Okay, so Jaina, a bunch of Hellions, a bunch of Balrogs, a bunch of Tormentors, and certainly a bunch of Brimstone Fiends, and not a lot of draining. Um, but yeah, pretty nasty part of the game. And certainly, like in my opinion, it is the hardest hell just because of the high amount of Hellions that you will see here, and Tormentors at the edge of line of sight and stuff like that. Yeah. If my HP drops, it's because of the Tormentor. Like the Tormentor will just ignore everything and be like, oh, you're gonna be taking a lot of damage now. Um, but it's not really that big of a deal for this character because, as you can see, I can just kill things, and most of those things are things that the Shining One doesn't really like, so I get healed for killing them. And I'm back at full HP now without even having to rest and without having to stop fighting. The Shining One is just so good for Extended. He is probably like There's people that prefer Sin, but Sin is boring. Sin just guarantees that you won't die in some situations. The Shining One makes it so that you actually don't have to stop fighting to not die, which is in my opinion more enjoyable than just being like, oh, you're not gonna hurt me now. Um, yeah, definitely I would take the Shining One over Sin any day. I have not tried the newest iteration of Sin. Last time I played Sin, you still got paralyzed if you used Recite, and now you can recite while actually fighting and stuff. So it should be much better now. So I'm spamming Cleansing Flame here. Cleansing Flame costs mana, but literally everything that I have on the screen right now are things that the Shining One hates. So if I kill things, like the piety gets replenished like literally immediately. So it's not that big of a deal, the mana cost. The Shining One is better than Maclef. For a 3 rune game, Maclev is definitely better. Like it's not even a contest. The Shining One prevents you from using a bunch of very fun things. Like this run was the perfect example of why the Shining One is not a good early game boss. I got early Condenser Bane, I got Spellbinder, I got Damnation, and I wasn't able to use any of those very good items because the Shining One hates them. So Maclev would have been fantastic for the early game, but I decided to go with the Shining One for the entirety of the game because just didn't want to deal with switching gods and stuff. Um, so yeah, the most important part of that is that I got Damnation. Like Damnation is the best weapon in the game. Nothing resists Damnation, and it deals incredible damage, and it cannot be dodged. And I just wasn't able to use it because the Shining One doesn't like it. Kind of a shame indeed. I wish the Shining One let you use some of the items that have a chance of doing something that the Shining One doesn't like, but don't always do something that the Shining One doesn't like. Like an example of that would be a Wand of Random Effects or a Condenser Bane. Those can give you like Bolt of Draining or Clouds of Negative Energy, and those are the things that the Shining One doesn't like out of those items. But he's okay with the rest of it. And it's kind of annoying that the item is marked as an item that will potentially give you uh, the Shining One Wrath, um, just because they have a chance of having those bad effects that I don't really like that much. I guess Clouds of Negative Energy are better than Thunderclouds, I guess, but that would be about um, the only cloud that's better than Clouds of Negative Energy because at least for extended for a 3 rune game, Clouds of Negative Energy are pretty decent, I guess. This would be Yeah, this is totally the Jenna, or one of the many Jennas where you can just break the metal walls with Shatter to pick up the rune. I may end up doing that and just not fighting, or rather not Antaeus, but Asmodeus. Asmodeus is actually the one that makes me worry the most. Fire Summon is a pretty strong spell because it guarantees that you're gonna get like something good out of it. You can get Hellions, Brimstone Fiends, Balrogs, and Sun Demons. I'm not sure you can get Red Demons out of Fire Summon. So yeah, um, 3 out of those 4 are pretty deadly, and you don't want to see them around for extended periods of time. Sun Demons are meh. Like early in the game, they're super dangerous, of course, but at this point in the game, they're kind of like butterflies. They don't really do anything to me anymore. Um, let's read a magic mapping. Let's see. Antaeus, or rather not Antaeus, I keep confusing them. Asmodeus can be here or here, and I don't know which one it is for sure. The last time I did this, Antaeus was, or Antaeus, I keep saying Antaeus, it's Asmodeus. Asmodeus was here the last time I did this. So we're gonna try to do this one first. So here's the thing. I'm gonna go into a corner and I'm gonna switch into my items that I guess I already have my items that give me intelligence. That's very convenient. So Outside of statue form, I actually have a worse failure rate for shatter because I'm using Pearl Dragon scales. So if I go into shatter form, or rather into statue form, it actually makes it easier to cast. So I'm gonna cast it to break the walls because they're stone walls. You cannot dig through them. You can only destroy them with shatter or with Lugonus corruption. They may be another effect that I may not be aware of, but those are the ways that I know to break those walls, like stone walls and metal walls. There's tempered metal walls. Um, so these don't really say anything about being more sturdy than regular metal walls, so I don't think it matters. We're gonna cast Shatter again, and one more time, and again. Okay, that means that we broke open the bolt, and there it is, the Rune of Sot. I'm gonna port it, and theoretically I could just leave now. I don't need to fight Asmodeus, but the way Shatter broke the wall means that this would be an extremely easy fight against Asmodeus because he doesn't really have any room to summon. Like if I'm here, Asmodeus is here, and he cannot summon. I'm actually gonna take the fight, and it should be a very easy fight to win. I'm not even gonna ask for angel friends to try to win the fight. Let's see, anything else that I want? Not really. None of these things seem appealing to me. Okay, so let me rest at full HP. There's no need to take the fight at 340 HP. Okay, 310 should be good enough. Yeah, there we go. Here he is, Asmodeus, wielding the scepter of Asmodeus. Um, I like how all the Hell Lords say greatest and most cunning, or greatest and most something of the Lords of Hell. I find that really cool for some reason. Except for Antaios. Antaios doesn't say that. Antaios says something entirely different. Um, so yeah, his spells are not really that dangerous except for Hurl Damnation and Fire Summon, which can summons demons of flame and damnation. So it summons Brimstone Fiends, Balrogs, Sun Demons, and Hellions. Yeah, that's pretty much what it summons, and those demons are pretty scary. Let's see, are you affected by? No, you're not affected by silver. It's like not all monsters are affected by silver. In fact, very few monsters are affected by silver. But those that are actually affected by silver, they take a lot of damage from it. Okay, he's not giant, so you can net Antaeus. It's kind of funny, like the concept of throwing a net at a demon lord and having it be caught in the net and struggle against the net. I find that really funny for some reason. So I'm just gonna walk towards him and just poke him. Um, he threw damnation and he summoned a brimstone fiend, which means more damnation. The brimstone fiend stepped next to, or rather in front of it. So instead of trying to reach past the brimstone fiend, I'm just gonna spam cleansing flame. That kills the fiend very fast, and now I can just net Antaeus again, or rather Asmodeus. I keep confusing them for some reason. Um, and we can keep poking him with my Trishula of Holy Wrath while he's trapped in the net. The Balrogs are annoying, but they're not that dangerous as another monster, as a Hellion, for example. Hellions would be kill on sight, and he's almost dead. So let's just finish up with Cleansing Flame. And as you can see, it was a very easy fight for this character. But these fights can get pretty nasty if you don't do things the proper way. Like this character was pretty strong. In fact, most characters that I like to do extended with are characters that have good earth magic because they can use shatter and they can use a statue form, so they can kind of trivialize most of the challenges that extended can throw at you. So yeah, I really like earth magic for 15 runes. For 3 runes, poison magic is pretty good. Okay, so we can drop this. And those are all the runes that you can get from hell. I'm lacking 2 runes. Oh, I guess I have not done Bolts 5. I've done most of Extended and I have not done Bolts 5. It would be funny if I died in Bolts 5 after doing all of that. Let's hope that it doesn't actually happen, but it would be kind of funny if it did indeed happen. Um, Okay, 34 armor class. If I put on the Ring of Robustness here, I go to 42. Yeah, that's pretty good. Um, is it really necessary to go to 42? I guess we can put on the Ring of Robustness over the Ring of Fire Resistance. Yeah, let's take a look at my shatter. It's still 3%. I think I'm ready to do bolts 5, guys. I may not be ready, but who knows? It's kind of funny because many people do bolts 5 as their third rune, and I just don't like doing it as a third rune. I feel like more often than not, the characters that my characters at least are not well equipped enough to deal with bolts 5 and the things that bolts 5 throw at you. Like as you can see here, always it's pretty much always the same. 24 bolt guards surrounding the stairs, and extra monsters that generate close to the stairs. Like in this case, a bolt warden generated here. So not an easy fight by any means. Actually, a pretty dangerous fight. Not because of the bolt guards, but because the bolt warden can trap you in the level, and then you have to teleport if you want to run away, and you rely on landing on a good spot after teleporting, which is something that I definitely do not like. We're gonna read Immolation that gives every monster in my line of sight inner flame, which will force a lot of explosions. It's gonna be quite fun. And now I have Shatter at 3%, so we're gonna Shatter. Shatter deals a lot of damage, a lot of damage. And as you can see, yep, boom indeed. It causes a chain reaction where monsters are just exploding, and the monsters that were severely damaged by Shatter are dying because of the explosions. And yeah, it's just really fun. It's also really dangerous and not really something that you should do in Bolts 5, but I like to do it. It's not something that you should do because it's going to attract pretty much every monster in the level. You can see my noise bar, and you can see that it's capped. I made as much noise as you can make in a single action in the game in that turn. So that pretty much woke up every monster in the level. And I also max fighting. So we are going to train. I'm thinking throwing. I'm thinking we could go for 26 throwing, so I can throw rocks pretty well. I'm also thinking invocations, so I can have cleansing flame ready for extended. Yeah, we're gonna go for invocations. I think invocations is a bit more important than throwing. Um, okay, we throw a rock at the tentacle monstrosity, and it explodes in a huge explosion. And we're doing quite well. Yeah, it's not quite because of how far the noise travels in the bolts. It's more because I casted literally the noisiest spell in the game, followed by more than 24 fireballs. So that would be why I woke up everything in the level. So now we just have to fight everything off. And it's kind of a complicated fight because as unlike with extended. I do not heal from these kills. Like most of these monsters are not monsters that the Shining One hates. So yeah, from what I have in line of sight, pretty much only the Demonologist would heal me, and it wouldn't heal me for a lot because it's a Demonologist. Um, so I think we can Shatter. We can just keep spamming Shatter. As you see, Shatter just deals ludicrous amounts of damage against everything that doesn't fly. If things fly, they take considerably less damage from Shatter, and it doesn't really do a lot against jellies. But other than that, it is a pretty fantastic spell to kill things in general. Okay, we have a bunch of dragons here, ancient liches. I'm running kinda low on mana. I think I'm gonna keep spamming shatter until a bolt warden appears on my screen, and then I'm gonna go upstairs or something. Okay, I ran out of mana for shatter. I would like to go upstairs now, so we're gonna go upstairs. Um, and we're just gonna tap down these guys. These guys are not really that dangerous on their own, but if I have like a bunch of monsters acting at the same time, then they can get a bit nasty. Um, and of course, for another character, that situation would have been really bad. But this is a 27 experience level 27 character with a bunch of HP. 323 HP is a ton, and I was in statue form, so that was over 400 HP. Had very good defenses, and all that stuff. Like also. Max fighting is pretty good for actually hitting enemies and hitting them really hard. Um, Max Spellcasting for the title. I got Ogre Mage. I like that title very much for some reason. I feel like the current iteration of Ogres is more like an Ogre Mage than an actual Ogre. Um, Actual Ogres were like what we had before when they had three fighting. Ooh, I'm taking an absolute disgusting amount of damage in there. That 92 damage is worrisome as opposed to like taking 150 in a single turn in a hell because that 92 damage came from actual damage. It didn't came from torment. So that means that I have to take proper measures here. This is a dangerous situation for me to be in. Um, yeah, Smite and Damnation. That's what been dealing damage to me this turn. And as you can see, I'm kinda low on HP. I'm at 50%. And I see both wardens. As soon as I saw this one, I tried to go upstairs, but the tentacle monstrosity was grabbing me and prevented me from actually doing that. And it's still grabbing me, so I'm not gonna try again. I guess I could kill it, but then if I cast Shatter, these guys can trap me. There's two of them, so there's a very reasonable chance that I get trapped in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to blink away from the High Priest, which is casting. Man, the thing is that I could do that, but it's almost dead. I just shatter and it dies, and the tentacled monstrosity would also die. The Bolt Warden hasn't taken any damage at all. That's crazy. Um, this one also hasn't taken any damage. So if I cast Shatter, I killed the High Priest for sure. This doesn't die. It's too far away from me. Um, there's so many monsters on the screen that do so many nasty things that I don't think Shatter is the correct choice here. Um, I think the correct choice is actually just blink away and teleport. It's kind of funny. Like Bolts 5, I don't like Bolts 5 for a very good reason, and that very good reason is that this is a character that has already done all the Pandemonium Lord runes, all the Hell runes. I killed all the Pandemonium Lords, I killed all the Hell Lords, and Bolts 5 is still pretty threatening to this character. So yeah, I just don't like Bolts 5 at all. Let's read Teleport. Okay, I'm taking a lot of damage. I'm gonna Shatter again. Deals a lot of damage, kills a lot of things. Heals me 462 because I killed a significant amount of things that the Shining One doesn't like. And we get teleported within line of sight of the rune. So we're just gonna pick it up. Now I have 14 runes, and the only one that I'm missing is the one that is in the Tomb of the Ancients, which is widely regarded to be the most dangerous part of the game that you need to do to get 15 runes. Cigarettes are more dangerous, but you don't need to do cigarettes to get 15 runes. So that's kind of like an added extra challenge in case you want to go even further beyond 15 runes. Who's all affected by fear? Um, Affected by fear? Well, Shadow Dragons are not. Ancient Liches are not either. These guys can be, but they have very high hit dice, and in the case of Titans, they have incredible magic resistance. So it's very unlikely for you to fear them. So yeah, I guess fear could have been an option there, but nah. I think I did the correct thing instead of just risking more turns within melee or within line of sight of all those monsters that were dealing a lot of damage to me. Um, So yeah, I don't like Bolts 5. It's certainly one of my least favorite levels in the game, and I very much prefer Slime as a third rune. Slime is so much easier than Bolts 5 if you play it the way it wants to be played. Very carefully, very slowly, and then when you get to the Royal Jelly, you just use Torment, Immolation, Tin of Tremor Stones, and that more often than not kills the Royal Jelly. Like those three actions can very quickly kill the Royal Jelly. Kidoki. So most of these monsters on their own, they're not really that dangerous. The reason why I was dying is because I was fighting literally everything in the middle of the level. So I was getting affected by like 20 smite effects in the same turn and stuff like that. Not ideal, certainly not ideal, and certainly not optimal. But after attracting literally everything in the level to the center of the level, I was able to teleport, and I landed in a really safe spot where I only had to fight like two or three monsters at the same time. And yeah, this character is pretty strong. That's the power of a level 9 spell. Um, it did take me forever to get it, but at the end of the day, level 9 spell will be level 9 spell. So I'm just gonna mash auto travel here. We're gonna auto travel a lot to pick up everything that may be worth something from the level, and then we're just gonna leave and go do Tomb. Man, I'm not looking forward to Tomb. Tomb is a nasty place. Very nasty place full of very nasty monsters. Um, and it's also a very particular part of the game because man, all of these options suck. I guess we can pick up the Book of Annihilations just in case. Man, I didn't have any of those spells. um, yeah, 100%. Because the only training in Magic that I have is 25 Earth, 17 Transmutations, and 5 Translocations. No, nothing else pretty much. Not even Conjurations. Not really necessary. So yeah, these are my spells. I only have 5 spells, and I only need 5 spells. Upward, very useful. You can pick up runes and then teleport and flee if necessary. I haven't had the need to do that, but the need may come in the final for the final rune. The final rune is nasty. There's also Petrify. I haven't used Petrify at all, but I just picked it up because Statue Form is the same spell school. So if I have Statue Form, I also have Petrify. I might as well have the spell available. There's also Blink. Blink I have used. I used it very efficiently in the fight against Antaeus to prevent him from meleeing me, and it worked out beautifully. And then there's Shatter, and you've already seen what Shatter does. Pretty strong spell. So let's go ahead and finish up the game. Let's go ahead and finish up the game in the form of the Tomb of the Ancients. Last rune of the game, very dangerous branch, um, very deadly, and it can kill you very fast if you don't know what you're doing. If you panic, you will die here. Like I've been frequently, like pretty much every time I've done Tomb, I've been in a situation where I'm at like 10 HP and I survive it. Like pretty much every time I do Tomb, because Tomb is like that. Um, it's not a happy place. Certainly not a happy place. Um, I think I'm gonna ask for an angel. No, the thing is that if I ask for an angel, I cannot shatter. But even okay, so here's the thing. Inside these rings, there's greater mummies. Well, I guess they're not called greater mummies anymore. They're now royal mummies, ancient pharaohs, embalmed and cursed to undeath, now capable of great and terrifying feats of magic. Pretty deadly monsters. They may not look like much. They don't really have as much HP as other things that I've already fought, and same goes for their defenses. But they and no, they also don't hit very hard. But the thing that's actually scary about Royal Mummies is the fact that they have two very dangerous spells: Smiting and Symbol of Torment. Those two spells ignore all resistances that you have. Symbol of Torment deals a very large chunk of damage, and Smiting deals very little damage, but it deals the damage very consistently. So if you get enough of these guys on the screen at the same time, you can theoretically die from full HP just because the game decided. Because the game decided it was the case. Um, Volta Solis, thank you for following. I appreciate it. Good to see you around. I hope you enjoy the content. I do this a lot, and I enjoy doing it. So yeah. Um, Anyway, as I was saying, these things suck. They're very dangerous, and even seeing one of them is already a danger sign. You need to take proper measures to not be fighting more than one of these at the same time. Mummy priests are pretty much the same. They have very similar spells, but unlike greater, or I guess they're not called greater mummies anymore. A decade of calling them greater mummies. Royal mummies have triple the amount of HP than mummy priests have. So these ones die if you blow at them. Like if you wave your trishul at them, they just explode into dust because they're mummies. These ones, not quite. These ones are pretty deadly. Um, so the best thing to do here, and considering how I'm slow and marked, and more monsters are gonna be coming my way to try to kill me, the monsters that I'm worried about are the ones that are inside this structure, which would be the tomb. Um, I'm gonna blink away because if I don't blink away, I would get stuck in an extended fight here, and that can get me killed pretty fast. So you can see here, bunch of dead scarabs, very annoying, very dangerous monsters. They can melee you to slow you and rot your HP. Does that rotting your HP part doesn't really happen if I'm in statue form. Statue form is immune to that. But being slowed is a thing that happens. It actually already happened, and it's pretty bad. So yeah, that's not something that we want to see. Um, these guys really do suck quite a bit. Um, so if I walk away from these guys, they're gonna hit me. They're not gonna hit me for a lot. They hit for only 33. Like at this point in the game, 33 is not really that much, especially with like shield skill and 42 armor class. But the thing is that I move so slow that the monsters that I blinked away from are going to catch up to me. Um, this would be the perfect situation to use a scroll of fog to break line of sight and to fight them in my own terms. Like as you can see, they're catching me. They're catching up to me almost immediately, but they're gonna be very close to me, so I'm gonna be able to melee them. I'm gonna be able to cleansing flame them. I cannot really shatter them because if I shatter here, I'm gonna unleash like 20 royal mummies, and it's gonna end up with me dead. I know that for sure. So we cannot really shatter at this point. I'm going to be able to shatter once I'm done with all these mummies and all these nasty monsters, and I can shatter in a controlled fashion. I would shatter here because in this corridor there's a lower concentration of greater mummies. I might be fighting like two or three of them at the same time, and I have the stairs really close to me, so if necessary I can just blink and go upstairs and heal to full HP. So yeah. Let's see. What else we do here? I think it's time to start spamming Cleansing Flame to kill the summons and all these floating skulls, and we are gonna start dealing some damage to the Royal Mummy. As long as it doesn't start tormenting me and stuff like that, as long as it doesn't start happening several times a turn, I think we're good. That scroll of fog was kinda really bad. It's not blocking all the line of sight. It's actually blocking very little of the line of sight, and we're starting to see more monsters at the edge of the screen that are actually tormenting me, like that royal mummy. So I think the best thing that I can do here is read another blinking. These are very valuable, but I'm literally at the last point of the game. Like after this, I just pick up the orb and get out of the dungeon and win the game. So if I'm going to use my consumables, this would be the time to use the consumables. So we have a bunch of revenants. Revenants are L's, but I like them as R's because I played Dumarel before revenants were in here, and in Dumarel revenants are R's. Coming to think of it, maybe I should have played Dumarel using tiles because tiles best illustrate what is in Dumarel. But yeah, I played Dumarel rather recently, a couple of months ago, and I played with tiles and I had a good time with it. So we're gonna blink away, read another fog, and wait for these guys to come my way. Man, that Royal Jelly with a 200 IQ move of stepping as far away as possible from me and spamming its spells from afar. And now it's coming my way, so I can cleansing flame it. And now it's next to me, so I can melee it. And we're gonna melee it. We deal not a lot of damage. That is quite unexpected because I've been hitting monsters really hard with this character. So yeah. Man, I have 37 strength. That's crazy. I wonder where I got 37 strength because I didn't really level up strength. I was leveling up intelligence so I could cast these spells that I'm casting right now. That's something that you have to do if you're going for a 15 rune. You need to actually think what you want to do in the future from the very start of the game. You cannot just decide that you're gonna do a 15 rune at the start of the game. It sometimes will not happen like that. So yeah. Okay, so normally, in order to proceed through the Tomb of the Ancients, you would go upstairs through a one-way shaft that should be over there. It's currently blocked by a sod trap, so I'm not gonna be able to show it. What I'm gonna do, because I have the means to do it, is get ready for a fight because this is gonna get pretty nasty, and we're gonna shatter here. And that doesn't break the entirety of the corridor. It only broke one tile. We're gonna have to try again. I miscast Shatter with 3%, not a big deal. And we cast it again, and we see here that I'm gonna start fighting a bunch of those royal mummies that I was so fearful of before. But the difference is that now that I already cleared the rest of the level and only the mummies that are in the ring are the things that I have to worry about, I think I can freely shatter. Another thing that I can do is I can step here. That breaks line of sight of all but one of the mummies, which would be the one that would be standing here, and I would be able to kill it in melee with relative ease. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, as you can see, I'm dealing incredible amounts of damage to the mummies. It's very nice to melee with 37 strength in statue form with a weapon of Holy Wrath, and there's even more mummies here. Nothing unexpected. I was aware of all the mummies that were in there. So yeah, these mummies, they sometimes have summon undead, and summon undead can summon Yangshi, which are nasty monsters. They move very fast and they deal a lot of damage. They have vampiric, so they're kind of hard to kill. But at this point in the game, they're not really that much of a threat, especially because I can just kill the royal mummy to get rid of them. One of the nastiest things about mummies is that they inflict you with death curses, and death curses can torment you, they can reduce your stats, they deal a lot of damage, they can summon demons, they can summon certain demons, not the most dangerous ones, but it's always nasty to end a fight at 10 HP and then have the death curse summon a reaper that can hit you for 45 plus 13 because it uses a scythe. Okay, mastered invocations. That's pretty good because I've been using a lot of cleansing flame, and cleansing flame is pretty good for this part of the game. So I don't really mind mastering invocations. I think next we want to master I could train more transmutations for more armor class, but at this point in the game, armor class doesn't really do anything. Most of the damage that I've been taking has been damage that cannot really be reduced by armor class, and armor class is already reducing the damage that it can reduce pretty well. So there's no need to train more transmutations for more armor class and statue form. I already have enough. What I can train is dodging, I think, or shields, or polearms. I guess polearms would make sense. And here's why. Normally you don't train your weapon skill past a certain point because the experience is best invested in other skills. But as you can see here, I already have 3 maxed skills, which are the skills that I'm using the most to kill things. And the next one in that list would be polearms. The benefit that I would gain from training polearms will be very negligible, but there will be a benefit as opposed to training up defensive skills like shields or dodging. Or I guess you could consider transmutations also a defensive skill because it would increase my armor class. So yeah, there's no point in doing that, but there is a point in training polearms. So that's why I am going to do that, even though it's normally not advised. You have to keep in mind that this is an extremely late game character that already has pretty much all it could want when it comes to loot, when it comes to skills, when it comes to spells, when it comes to gear, pretty much all that it could want. So at this point, I'm mostly allocating my experience as a formality because I don't really need anything else. But the only thing that could gain me a benefit would be polearms, and that's why I'm training polearms. So that Greater Mummy was doing a weird dance. Do do ignore me if I say Greater Mummy. It's Royal Mummy now, but it's pretty much the same thing. You know what I'm talking about. So these guys suck. Man, it got 2 turns. It's understandable because I'm in statue form and I'm slow. But yeah, in those 2 turns, it dealt 83 damage and then it tormented me for 56. So let's just hope that it doesn't keep happening. Okay, it's next, or it's within melee range. Let's just poke it. My melee attacks have not been dealing a lot of damage against these mummies, which is kind of worrisome. Sometimes the mummies explode, and sometimes they take more than a couple attacks. I don't think I've gotten a one shot just yet. All the character wants is to see it in the beach with an ice drink. That's pretty much what I'm gonna be getting after I finish up the Tomb of the Ancients. This has been quite a fast extended run. The character has been going for 8 hours, and most of those 8 hours were actually in the first 3 runes. Now that I'm in extended has been going pretty fast. I haven't really encountered a lot of trouble here. Okay, so here's the thing. One of these will place me will place me in the part of the level that I was trying to skip by destroying the wall with Shatter, and the other one will place me in a part of the level that I want to go. So it's kind of like a 50-50 chance. I would say that the good one would maybe be this one. The thing is that there's no guarantee. Like there's no way for me to tell for sure. So I'm just gonna have to risk it randomly. You don't like the Ring of Telestrat? It's pretty much the same as the Shatter Strat, but the Shatter Stride is just better. Like it's just better in all ways. As you can see here, the Shatter Stride allowed me to take the fight with the greater mummies inside the ring in a very controlled fashion. Instead of teleporting randomly into 6 greater mummies, I was able to kill them one by one in a very nice choke point that allowed me to fight them 1 versus 1, like right here. And I was also pretty close to the stairs. So if things got out of control, just read a Scleral Blink and go upstairs, and then you're safe. And you cannot do that with the teleport ring strat. So it is a good strategy, but I have something better in the form of the Shatter strategy. So I just decided to go with that. So let's see what we get. I'm gonna try to go downstairs and let's hope I win the lottery. And I didn't. So we're gonna have to teleport right away. You never fight this. This ambush is pretty deadly. Like, you start off and you see a bunch of guardian mummies and regular mummies, and you're like, oh, whatever, I can take on these guys. And then you start fighting. And then you see a mummy priest appear at the edge of line of sight, and you're like, oh man, that's a mummy priest. It could be annoying because it's at the edge of line of sight. And then you start seeing in the opposite direction, a greater mummy or a royal mummy, and then another royal mummy, and then another mummy priest over here, and then it just gets out of control. And then when you decide, okay, I don't think I can deal with this, I teleport, you take 200 damage from Torment and Smite in a single turn, and then you end up dying like out of nowhere. It happens so often to people that enter Tomb for the very first time. Um, so yeah, I know better than to fight that, and I just teleported immediately when I saw that I didn't get the result that I wanted from clearing the ring. So I got teleported, and I got teleported into the part of the level where I wanted to be teleported. I can just go down now and skip most of the Tomb of the Ancients, which is precisely what I wanted. The key for the Tomb of the Ancients is never take the fight the way the game offers the fight to you, because you're very likely to lose the fight. Force the game to fight you in your own terms, which is what I have been doing here by teleporting and by using shatter and all that kind of stuff. If you do that, it becomes much easier, but it's still kind of a dangerous thing. Okay, as you can see, there's upstairs here. If I was to take these upstairs, they would place me in the ring, and the downstairs take me to Tomb 3. Tomb 3 is a pretty dangerous level. It's widely considered to be the most dangerous level in the game, and for good reason. You're gonna fight a lot of greater mummies, royal mummies, I guess, a lot of mummy priests, and I think there's a couple of sphinxes down there as well. So yeah, not a nice level, not a happy level by any means. So let's see. Just making a quick check to my things, making sure that I have everything that I may need for the final level in the game. It's pretty much the final level in the game. After that, I just pick up the rune and get out of here, and then we're done. So yeah, I think I'm ready. I think I'm as ready as I can be for this, which is not very reassuring, but what else can I do? Um, okay, a single mummy, nothing too threatening, but the worst is yet to come. So the stairs should used to all be clumped in here back when Tomb was a bit easier. Nowadays it's really hard. Like it was the most dangerous level in the game before, and now it's the most dangerous level in the game but buffed. So there's that. The stairs used to be here in a little triangle, and nowadays they are no longer here. The stairs are in the lungs where the loot is. The rune should be all the way over there. I cannot see it just yet because I need to map the level. And I'm not gonna do that. It's a waste of a turn. But yeah, in order to get the rune, I would have to like make my way through, which is kinda complicated. Reading teleport here is not a good thing, and here's why. I have not explored any of the level, and there is an area right over there that has a million greater mummies or royal mummies, whatever. If I land there, I can die very fast from full HP, no matter how strong the character is. Um, in time for Tomb. Yeah, you arrived just in time to see the absolute worst level in the game. I'm gonna drink a Brilliance. I'm gonna stand next to the wall and I'm gonna shatter the wall so I can break the wall and come in here. And as you can see, 14 dead scarabs. We're gonna read Immolation. I'm slow. I'm gonna shatter them. Most of them explode. That was pretty cute. I take very little damage, but I got rid of all the scarabs, which is precisely what I wanted. The Venus are annoying, but yeah, this is looking good so far. The fact that I have a little choke point here that I can hopefully this square was broken. If this square was broken, it would be excellent because it would allow me to fight in an extremely advantageous situation, or rather an extremely advantageous spot. And so yeah, I'm just gonna try to secure that spot. Okay, it didn't seem to be the case this time, but it's okay. I don't mind not having the choke point. I'm still in control of this situation. Um, I do. I would like to know where the upstairs are, so I can blink towards the stairs in a if things get out of control. Right now they're fine. I don't see any greater mummies or any mummy priests. So any situation where there's nothing like that on the screen is a good situation. So yeah, I think it would be a good idea to read magic mapping now, just to know where the stairs are. Okay, they're all the way over there. Nothing too bad. I can reach that with two scrolls of blinking. It is worrisome that there's a dispersal trap here because monsters can make me blink away from the stairs, and that could be really bad. So I need to exert some caution when I decide that it's time to leave the level. Um, I'm fine here. I'm not really in too much of in too much danger. Like none of these things are really threatening. The only things that are threatening are the mummies. And talking about mummies, we have a mummy priest at the edge of line of sight. Um, we can throw a javelin at it, or a couple of them. And I think that's the best thing that I can do because, as I mentioned, the other monsters are not really threatening. The priest is the monster that I should prioritize pretty much all of the time. Um, you could even say that mummy priests are something you do have to kill before greater mummies. And that is because they are so fragile compared to greater mummies and they have the same spell book. So killing them before focusing on the other mummies may be a good play. It turns out that this little kill hole that I got myself here has been pretty good. Um, it's time to read a scroll of fog to break line of sight. Yeah, this one was an excellent scroll of fog. The way Shatter destroyed these walls made it so that fog was a guaranteed way to block line of sight immediately, which was perfect. Now, when these guys appear, I'm gonna be able to hit them in melee, and my melee is probably the thing that deals the most damage that I can do right now. So that's pretty excellent. And I could just repeat the scroll of fog if it runs out. It's no big deal. I have 10. I have not really been using them. So if your character is strong, it's gonna have a strong extended because you're gonna have a bunch of consumables that you can just use whenever you need to. As I illustrated earlier in Tomb 1, I had like 20 scroll. Well, not 20, but I had like 9 scrolls of blinking. I used 3 of them, and I'm still okay. I can still blink into the stairs if I need to, which is perfect. So fog is running out, which is not ideal. But that javelin melted everything. Like killed the royal mummy, dealt a lot of damage to a couple of monsters, killed the 2 dead scarabs. Doesn't deal a lot of damage to the second royal mummy, but that's not a big deal. So with all the way over there, it's gonna be a problem for the me from a couple of turns in the future. So yeah, nothing to worry about right now. Oh, we even have bodies. Bodies is cute. Bodies is normally a rather dangerous unique because he deals a lot of damage with his spells. But at this point in the game, like after fighting what I've already fought, Boris doesn't do a lot. Um, so yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm just gonna destroy him real quick. Maybe he even dies by just taking a couple of javelins to the face um, as crossfire because I'm not really like actually trying to kill Boris first or something. He's just in the way. Okay, Boris has been not has been getting away with not receiving any damage, or maybe he has been receiving damage but not taken a lot of it. So we got tormented and smitten, pretty much the standard for Doom, and we took 89 damage. Not a big deal. The more I kill things, like pretty much everything here is hated by the Shining One. So whenever I kill monsters, the Shining One will heal me. So we're fine. Okay. Pretty much any way that you have to deal damage to the royal mummies and the mummy priests is something that you need to use in this level. And so far, we have been doing quite well. Like it has been quite an easy Doom 3, if I say so myself. Um, we have been in absolute control pretty much the entirety of the time. We have not dropped too low in HP. We have not had to teleport. We have been doing quite well. And I have to attribute that to statue form. I would say that statue form has been the reason why I've been in such control of the situation. Um, Statue form greatly mitigates some death curses, including torment. So yeah. Also shatter. Like shatter has also been pretty important to this clear of doom because it allowed me to take the fight like this, where I see very little royal mummies and mummy priests at the same time. Um, so yeah. Shatter was also pretty important, even though I haven't been using it to kill the mummies after the initial cast. So being slow next to Royal Mummy while marked, not ideal, but nothing too dangerous. I think we can just use Cleansing Flame. Remember that I have 27 invocations, so my Cleansing Flame is gonna be extremely strong. It's gonna deal very high amounts of damage, so it is a pretty much a surefire way to kill royal mummies that step too close very fast. And I think I owned Tomb 3 in this character. That if that was not owning Tomb 3, I don't know what was. Um, Tactics, tactics. This character maybe could do cigarettes with Shatter. The thing about Shatter is that it is very effective at killing most things in a cigarette, but there's some levels where Shatter just straight up sucks. What is this? It must be like a Randart. Kind of lame. I was curious because it was identified. Um, so yeah, when Shatter sucks in a cigarette, it really sucks and it can get you killed. So I'm not gonna risk it. I also don't really like to do cigarettes. Because by the time you get strong enough to do a cigarette to completion, you either got lucky and you didn't get like a mummy floor or a fire floor or one of those really nasty cigarette floors, or you're just too strong and you already won the game, barring some major player mistake. So yeah, I don't really like to do cigarettes. I've done cigarettes before. In fact, I have a highlight of a cigarette that I did as a deep elf. Um, but yeah, I'm not gonna do a cigarette right now. And that's a bunch of level that I never have to explore or clear, and that's the way I like it. That's the way it should be, pretty much. So now that I have 15 runes, the only thing that I have left to do is to pick up the Orb of Sot, which I have already seen. Why do you not know how to get there? I know why. I know why you don't know how to get there. The Orb of Sod is blocked by traps on both ends. Traps that won't let me auto travel. So yeah, in order. Oh wait, I have shatter now, so I don't need to step on the trap repeatedly anymore. I can just shatter. Yeah, shatter is a beautiful spell. It's so good. So now I can just pick up the orb and win the game. I'm gonna rest off my mana to have full mana, and we can pick up the orb, and the fun starts. The Lords of Pandemonium are not amused, beware. It would be scary, except for the fact that I already killed the strongest ones. So yeah, what are they going to throw against me? Maybe the fabled Pandemonium Lord that has Torment and like Glaciate and Firestorm. That guy is pretty scary. But other than that guy, I think we are good. Okay, let's see what you have. You only have harpoon shot, so you're not really dangerous. Um, okay, it seems that I may have to go that way if I want to get to the stairs, but not really because I have shatter. I can just shatter here, and that breaks the wall. It doesn't like you don't really get to pick the wall that you want to break, but it's not a big deal. Do you fly? You fly. So I'm gonna have to kill you in melee. You're not really threatening, as you can see. I killed it really, really fast and nothing to really worry about. Let's proceed with the auto-traveling to the first level in the game. We're pretty much, we have pretty much won at this point in the game. Like, there's not much that the game can throw at me to stop me at this point. Like, well, not with the consumables that I have, not with the things that I have achieved with this character pretty much. I would need like a serious typo or something to die at this point, but it's not going to happen. Okay, we got Seraphim. Well, Seraph, they get a very highly enchanted weapon nowadays, and they also get Fire Dragon scales. These monsters are pretty scary. These monsters would be some of the most dangerous monsters in the game. They have very good defenses, they have decent HP, they hit really hard, but most importantly, they are not vulnerable to Holy Wrath. More often than not, like all the monsters that you see that have these properties of hitting really hard and having a bunch of HP and very good defenses, they're affected by Holy Wrath, and Seraphim are not. So you would have to deal those 212 HP the hard way. So yeah, pretty dangerous monster to deal with. In fact, I don't think I'm gonna fight it. I think I'm gonna drink a haste and just run away from it because I don't need to fight it. And it also summons more angels. So yeah, it's a pretty nasty enemy to fight against. I used to like to kill them, but nowadays they're just too strong. Okay, we're almost at D1. We're almost there. Okay, what do? You fly, you hit not very hard, you don't really have dangerous spells other than Haunt. Um, and other than Silence, I mean. But yeah, it still died in 2 attacks because I just hit that hard. Okay, let's see. We already won the game. That was a pretty nice and interesting game. I was expecting it to be not as easy as it turned out to be. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Okay, let me get my diesel stats. Let's also drink a brilliance. Let's cancel out of statue form. Let's cast the statue form again. Let's cancel out of statue form again. Let's take off the ring that subtracts intelligence. Let's cast the statue form one more time. And let's put on the ring again. It doesn't seem to be doing a lot for me. Yeah. No, well, no, that's not really that big of a deal. As long as I have 46 armor class, I'm okay. Let's also drink Might. Let's drink Haste. Let's drink Flight. Let's drink Resistance. I never used a potion of Resistance this game. I didn't find them early on where I would have actually used them, where they were actually like necessary for me, or would have helped me a lot. I only found them after I found the Hat of the Alchemist, so that's kind of funny. Um, let's see, what else do we want to drink now? Have I already? I already drank Haste. I think we can drink. I don't want to drink Ambrosia because it nukes my shield. So we're gonna drink Berserk Rage for extra HP. Let's drink Curing before so I can heal my rot. And let's drink Berserk Rage. Take a look at that beautiful, beautiful HP that I have right now. Also, shout outs to the Deva with a render tower shield. It's a pretty good tower shield, but I like what I have right now. I have a tower shield that gives me slaying. Slaying is pretty good. It's a pretty good property, especially when you stack it and when you have a fast swinging weapon. Like you can apply slaying a lot more often than with a slow weapon. So yeah, slaying is a pretty good property. Also, pretty good when you're throwing stuff or using a launcher of any sorts. So yeah, let's just win now. Let's wait a turn so I can have 33 evasion. You have escaped. Um, okay, I think I didn't win with 33 evasion, but yeah, it was a pretty good game. 63rd place in the high score ranking for Trunk. Not too good, not too good. Like I'm not a speed runner, and I'm not a like a high score player. Like I feel that in order to get a high score, you actually need to try very hard for that particular goal, and that's not like my thing. I like to win the game. I like to beat the game the way I beat the game today. So yeah, it was a pretty good character. It was pretty fun. It was pretty strong. It was pretty blessed by RNG. I found a potion of experience and I found Pearl Dragon skills. Even though I had to roll with a spear, like a regular spear, until shoals, until shows too, actually. It was still a pretty good character nonetheless. So yeah, I really recommend Ogre. The way I built it for extended, because you get a ton of HP, you get statue form, you get shatter, and if you go with the shining one, you also get like the good effects that you get from the shining one. You get the halo, you get the weapon of holy wrath, you get the heal on kills, you get cleansing flame, you get the angels. I never used divine shield that much. I used it like once or twice, before getting to extended, and it was useful because I already had the tower shield by that point. So tower shield plus divine shield just made monsters not be able to hit me. So that was also pretty good. But I still would not take the shining one as 3 rune god again, because you sacrifice a couple of effects that are really good, most noticeably Condenser Bane, but this character also found the Spellbinder. Spellbinder would have been an amazing weapon upgrade, and it also found Damnation. Damnation is a bit more iffy because it's two-handed, but if I was not using a Tower Shield by the time I found Damnation, I probably would have abandoned the Shining One in favor of Damnation, because Damnation is just that strong. So yeah, it was a pretty good character, pretty fun. I hope the people that have been asking me for a 15 rune game, I hope they enjoyed the playthrough. If you really enjoyed it for some reason, you can subscribe or do something like that. It's not really necessary, but I would appreciate it, and it does help me create more content and like more higher quality content. So yeah. Anyway, I think we can end here. I think we can end the stream here for today. If you're not following, at least please consider following if you enjoyed the thing. And I will be back on Monday with more Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, but I may stream on the weekend. I have Dawn of the Mashika. I bought it last week and I haven't tried it yet, and I really want to try it, and I want to give my first impression on stream. I haven't opened it. I kind of want to do that as well. I also want to play some more Guilty Gear on stream now that I got my new controller. It's pretty good. My new controller is a PS5 controller, and it has been pretty fantastic. I've been doing some training mode stuff with that controller, and it feels so good. So I may play that online as well. So yeah. Anyway. Thank you for hearing me, and thank you for like dedicating some of your free time to enjoy the content. And I hope to see you around soon. Goodbye.